Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And on my left, one of the most debonair, one of the best dressed, one of the most ubiquitous men, Jerry Mahoney.
Oh, thank you for those kind words, my dear.
Oh, with nothing. Are you going to stay here all night?
You know, you're not too young to go steady. Kiss me. Timber! No.
Did you bring your old man along?
Yeah, the square is right there.
All right, then we'll be careful most of the time, shall we?
Let's keep it between us.
Shall we mention his name?
You'll have to, I guess.
I guess I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't go away, will you?
I won't, dear.
That's my boy. Paul Winchell.
Thank you, and on my left...
Listen, Winch, what? Can I introduce her, please?
Yes, but I've been asked to appear on this show alone, Jerry.
I know, but can I just introduce her? Then I'll be quiet.
All right, if you insist.
And on my left is a young girl who throws a kiss to John Daly, but to Dick Knightley, Dorothy Kilgallen. I'll never fit in a suitcase with the head I'll get with it.
And much as I hate to leave Jerry Mahoney, on my left there sits an equally fascinating gentleman, our Random House publisher, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
I hope the termites don't get at our show tonight. Well, on my left is our panel moderator, who takes a fiendish delight in directing all of our brightest sallies up the wrong alleys, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Bennett, I think we ought to stick together. That interloper's gotten more kisses out of our two panel members in one night than we have in 6 years.
6 years, that's
Yes, right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. And panel, I have great news for you.
Put on your mask.
Put on your mask. That's right. Once again tonight, we have some interesting folks who are visiting us with some interesting occupations, and in this first instance, there's something of particular interest to take note of. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program. We'll meet our first challenger in just 30 seconds.
The Remington Duchess, the truly feminine electric shaver, does away with harsh blades and messy creams. The Remington Duchess, for smooth, flawless legs and underarms. It's the ideal gift for girl graduate or modern mother. Pink or blue in an elegant case. The Remington Duchess.
And now let's meet our first contestant. Will you come in and sign in, please? That's fine. Now will you come over here and join me? Now, panel, as I'm sure you know, there is an area of identification here which would be open to you if you were not masked, having to do either with signing in or with costume or with perhaps physical identification. And because of these areas, you are blindfolded, and yet we are still determined to have you identify the line of a guest. And I'll ask our guest if you're familiar with the signing in, the scoring. Good. If you are, let's let the people at home and our friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. Panel, one bit of help. Our guest is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Do you work for a non-profit-making organization?
Certainly not.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
You're a lady.
I hope so.
Do you work for some organization that has had some kind of publicity in the papers recently?
Well, no.
No?
It's hard to answer.
It's hard to answer, but I would think the proper answer is the one initially given, that there is no particular event recently that I know of that has made any publicity for this particular organization that is out of the ordinary. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you deal with men and women in your job?
Yes, I do.
Do they come to you?
Mostly I go to them.
That
Well,
gives
thank you.
Up,
Oh, you're not going to give me that, John?
No, now wait a minute.
No.
That's
Half
the
no.
girl. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Mitchell.
Do you go to the homes of these men and women?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you work in an enclosure of any type?
Sometimes. Most of the time, yes.
I see. Is this an office by chance?
Yes.
Sometime.
You work in an office, and yet you go to them. Well, when you go to these men and women, do you perform your services indoors?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Would your services have anything to do with the seasons?
Sometimes.
Well, would it be predominantly one season more than another?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would any of us recognize you if we could take our masks off?
I think so, yes.
Would we recognize you because we have seen you either in person or in a photograph?
Yes.
In other words, it would be your face, not just your costume, that would be a giveaway.
Yes.
Do you appear on television?
Sometimes. But not professionally.
Have you ever been seen in the newsreels?
Yes.
Are you involved in any form of athletics or strenuous exercise of any kind?
Hardly ever.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, are you connected then with some form of the entertainment world?
Very remotely.
You're very generous. Go ahead, Bennett.
Are you involved in any game or contest of any kind?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Now, you're not in sports, and you're not a professional as far as television appearances are concerned. Are you active in some kind of a business?
I am salaried and... Yes.
Take it easy. Now, would you define what you mean by business?
Anything you get paid for is business.
Well, last time we looked, our guest gets paid, so I guess you get to keep on going, Miss Francis.
No. What I mean is, do you work for a salary?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with newspapers or magazines or books?
Yes.
Wish I hadn't asked that. Now I have a yes and what? Jerry Mahoney!
Right here, dear.
Do you write in any of these mediums?
Yes.
Do you write for newspapers?
Yes.
Are you a columnist?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you write for a New York newspaper?
Yes.
Do you write at all about the entertainment world? Ever?
Hardly ever. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Have you ever been a war correspondent?
Yes.
Did you write ever for the Herald Tribune?
Yes.
Did you cover, well, no, I won't even bother. Are you Marguerite Higgins?
Yes. Well, Miss Margaret, we did really good there for a while, but once the scent was found, we fell apart.
I saw Miss Higgins acquit herself very well on Meet the Press 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
when Daniel was on.
That's because Miss Higgins is a graduate of the Columbia School of Journalism.
But I think it was, actually, I write more about spring and Christmas than any other seasons.
Take care of that. Well, Miss Margaret, it's nice to have had a Pulitzer Prize winner with us, and I'm glad you gave the panel so much trouble. Would you say hello to them? All right, panel, very good beginning. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please, ma'am? Right. Grace? Kelly? And I want now to offer my condolences and my sympathy. I bet you've had a rough time these last few weeks. Where are you from? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Miss Kelly? Where are you from?
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, Michigan? Well, I'm going to have to expose you to probably some more needles, but would you take a hike down there and let the panel get to know you a bit better?
How you doing? Hello, Miss Kelly.
Everyone said it wouldn't last.
All right, over here, Miss Kelly, if you will. And I would hope that you're familiar with our scoring system. All right, good. Then let's let the folks at home and our friends here know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, Miss Kelly, is salaried, and let's begin with Bennett Cerf.
Miss Kelly, do you do your work in or near Detroit?
Yes.
Is it the kind of work for which Detroit is particularly well known?
No.
No. One down, not to go, Miss Francis.
Nothing to do with automobiles.
No.
She doesn't watch the Fords go by, huh? Miss Kelly, is there any product at all associated with what you do?
Yes.
Yes, in a manner of speaking, you could say there's a product connection.
Is it a product that I could own?
Yes.
Would I be more likely to own it than Paul?
I don't think so.
Let us say that, presupposing that we are not completely familiar with your private lives, we would say that it's possible that each of you would have an equal right to ownership.
Well, Miss Kelly, is it something that would be found indoors?
Not in my home, no.
That what?
Now, actually, as I said, this is a product in a manner of speaking, which I hope you will not get lost on. The question is it something you would find indoors? I would suggest that probably you would in most cases, wouldn't you think,
Yes.
Miss Kelly? Yes.
I see. Well, Miss Kelly, would you say that you are associated in a kind of work that would keep you indoors?
Yes.
Does it keep you in anything that would resemble a store?
No.
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Winchell.
Does this particular product, is this for both men and women? I assume it is. Well, does it come in contact with the body in any way?
No.
We want to be completely fair. And we would have to admit that to the degree that this may be considered a product, we would have to say that it would come in contact with the body, yes.
You would have to say.
Yeah.
Well, is this particular product made of metal?
No.
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is there any variety in this product, Miss Kelly?
No, I don't think we can. And I have tried to warn you off this product because I think it's only by stretching our normal terms of reference and accepting the question, is there any product in connection with what you do, that we gave you a tentative yes. You can walk around forever in this labyrinth. So, Mr. Cerf.
Well, Miss Kelly, with that warning in mind, I must ask you, if there is a product involved, is it or has it ever been alive?
No.
instance.
Well, this is a dead product. If it is a product. May I just go one step further? If one were within a reasonable radius of this product, could you touch it? Can you see it, whatever it is?
To the degree that
There is
there's
a product
involved, yes.
All right, then I suggest that John is right. Let's get off the product entirely. Now, you work in an enclosure, but it is not a store. Do you sell anything?
Yes.
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
But you can't touch that either. Do other people, many other people, have the kind of job that you have?
Well, there are 160 millions of us. I would say that
And three of them must at least do the same work. Uh-huh.
No, I would say a decent number of our citizenry
All right.
do perform the same task.
Does one benefit from your services, Miss Kelly? Does one feel better off mentally as a result of your...
I know I'm going to get jumped on for this one, but I'm having so much fun I don't care.
Sounds like Miss Kelly makes psychiatrist couches. Does one... did we establish whether people come to you? Did we establish
That hasn't been established, no.
Well, do they come to you for your services, Miss Kelly?
Yes, they do.
Does any more than one person at a time come to you?
Sometimes.
Uh-huh. Is it something that is perfectly all right to talk about?
As far as I know, this has remained respectable for some time, this whole business.
I see. Is there any paperwork involved in what you do?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Do you fill out anything for somebody? Papers of any kind?
Yes.
Would people that are married or who are about to be married use your services?
Yes.
In an advisory capacity, do you operate at all, Miss Kelly?
No.
Well, here I think we have to be fair. It's possible that there would be some advisory
Is there
character.
anything educational about your work?
Oh, yes.
Well, to the degree that it's advisory, it could also be, in a small degree, also educational. One would require information and may, I would say, get it there.
Does it have anything to do with children or babies in any way?
No.
No, I would say we can't buy
I'm
that.
glad to
Let's
get
sit down
off.
before to go, Mr. Winston.
I think you made a lot of progress.
Well, could you perform this service in the outfit that you are now wearing?
Oh, sure.
Sure. Well, does this particular service require any special type of training?
No.
No,
I don't think
not
so.
by our terms
No.
of reference. 7 down and 3 to go. I'm going to give you one more minute, panel.
Well, do you have anything to do with people getting married?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the license that they obtain?
Yes.
Oh, I was
Well,
right on
Arlene, you
that.
got it.
Profit making.
Yes. We didn't establish
Oh, we didn't
that.
ask
Well,
that.
thank you,
Oh.
Arlene. Do you give out marriage licenses to people?
Yes. Go ahead, Bennett. I'm waiting.
Well, those people are alive, when, at least before they get the license.
The people. People are, but the license isn't.
Okay. I thought it
Well,
was
I must say, Miss Kelly, we had a load of fun, and thanks very much for coming all the way from Detroit. We enjoyed it tremendously. Thanks very much for being a wonderful guest. In just a moment, we'll meet tonight's mystery guest, but first, a message from Remington Rand.
Now there is a new scientific discovery for men who can't shave after every meal. It's called the man-sized Remington electric shaver. If you could shave after every meal, any puny little razor might do, but not now for a clean shave all day. You need the man-sized Remington.
Yeah, but Doctor, how do I know the Remington will give me a clean shave?
Remington guarantees cleaner shaves for 15 days or your money back. Take this to your dealer now. It's just what you need.
Ah, that's good advice. And gentlemen, you too can enjoy cleaner shaves with the man-sized Remington electric shaver, even though your beard be as tough as Jim Coburn's here. Just look at those whiskers come off, clean and close, with the Remington electric shaver. Now, there you see the reason why Remington can make this bold offer. A 15-day free trial guaranteeing cleaner shaves. And here's what you do. You shave with the Remington electric shaver for 2 weeks. Then, on the 15th day, you just try. You just try going back to that old-fashioned method. You will prefer the Remington or your money back. Oh, and another thing. Your old standard make electric shaver is worth a whopping big $8.50 trade-in. Not $7.50, mind you, $8.50 more than anyone else offers. So how about it? Start that 15-day test with either the man-size 60 Deluxe or the brand-new Remington foursome. After all, you have nothing to lose but your whiskers. Meanwhile, back at the doctor's office...
Doctor, you were so right. I never had a cleaner shave than with a man-sized Remington. What a shave! What a shaver!
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends in the panel are once again blindfolded. Are the masks all in place, panel?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? In the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin it with Arlene Francis.
Would one be likely to find your name on the entertainment pages of the newspaper?
Yeah.
Mr. Winchell?
Would you be classified as a comedian?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Miss Kilgallen?
Do you do anything else, such as singing or playing a musical instrument or dancing?
9.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Are we accustomed to seeing you on the television screen?
Yeah.
Miss Francis?
Do you do a regular program on television?
Yeah, this is true, yeah.
Mr. Winchell?
Does your...
I'm sorry, I'm pulling faces, and I shouldn't be doing it.
Does your particular program emanate from the East Coast?
9.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Yeah, that is true.
Excuse me, but are you a dummy?
9.
For a minute, he
Oh,
sounded
no.
like Jerry Mahoney.
Yeah, this could be.
Oh, it couldn't be.
Yeah, it must be. Is there a great rival of Jerry Mahoney's around on this program with us at the moment?
This I've never heard of. Who's the name, please?
Yes
you...
or no? Is that?
Well, I would say we'd have to give you a yes on that.
It is a rival of Jerry Mahoney's. Is that what you found out?
I think this is a reasonable assumption, which under the stated terms of reference, which have been operative on this program for a good many years, we'd be binding on it, yes.
Well, I think you may be leading us up memory lane. I mean, by that I'm sure Bennett meant, is this another wooden head that grows in the trees? And if that's what Bennett meant, then we have to have a very straight answer. If it's just a rival as far as an opposition television show is concerned, it's a different story.
Well, I think that is the... Do you want to ask the specific question as to there being here present another wooden head?
No, I don't want to ask that. I think one wooden head is enough.
How dare you?
All right, then I'm going to go away from that. Are you here in the East because a picture of yours has opened here recently?
9.
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Winchell.
Well, I'm going to take a chance. Is it another wooden head?
Yeah.
It's a dummy?
Yeah, it's a dummy.
Edgar Bergen?
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Thank you, Arlene. Thank you, dear. I'm glad I could chase you away.
Well,
Actually,
that's certainly a surprise to me.
Well, we tried to play as dirty as we could.
and we did pretty good, I must say.
Why don't you bring Jerry up to have a little conversation
Yeah,
with him?
Jerry.
Why don't you two
Mortimer.
come-
Jerry.
I don't mind if you don't.
Cousin Mortimer!
Jerry, look who it is.
You know, I had talked about some 35 amateur ventriloquists the other day over at a CBS studio, and we gave out opportunities to 3 of them. And wouldn't you know that 8 out of 10 of them would come with Jerry Mahoney dummies?
Now, listen, Mortimer, I got an idea. Yeah. Why don't the 2 of us leave these squares and go into business for ourselves? No kidding. I could work your head and you could work my head.
Well, I would say this, because time is getting short. I think a lot of you people know that Edgar Bergen is here in New York, because very properly he was honored many times this past week because of his 20th anniversary on radio. Now he's also in television. And it's an honor he well deserves, and in this next week he's going back to his alma mater, Northwestern University, isn't it, Edgar?
That's right.
Where he is going to be honored by his school as one of its most distinguished graduates. He's not a graduate of our business. He's still an undergraduate in it, and he does all of us who are in it proud. And we're very happy and pleased that he's among this good company.
Well, I should like to say one thing, if I may, John, and that is that I've always been a great admirer of Edgar's, and he's been an inspiration to me, actually. I've admired his work.
Yeah, but there's one thing I want to know.
What?
How come Mortimer's sitting up there and I got to sit under the table here?
Would you go over and see Mortimer? Thank you very much, Edgar. Wonderful to see you. So remember the rival. Thanks a lot. Good fun, and before our panel says good night, may I remind you to tune in again next Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line. For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. And now a word from next week's sponsor.
Remington. Remington now guarantees. Pay attention, Mac. Cleaner shaves for 15 days. Or your money back.
Thank you, Brushface. That's right, friends. Remington now guarantees cleaner shaves. So pick up a Remington on the 15-day free home trial plan. You have nothing to lose but your whiskers.
Paul and Jerry, it's been grand having you with us. Until next week, this is John Lady saying good night, Miss Arlene.
Good night, John. Good night, Paul. Thanks a lot for coming and bringing your friend whom you have now lost.
Good night, and thank you for inviting me to the big surprise.
Good night, Paul. Come again.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, Ben.
Oh, you fickle girl. Next week, if we play our cards right, we may have Farfel with us. Good night, John.
And next week, we will have Peter Lind Hayes with us. Thank you all for being with us on What's My Line?
Travel arrangements on What's My Line are made through American Airlines. American Airlines flies our contestants in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagship. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Be sure to watch Remington Rand's other television program, Caesar's Hour, on another network.